Hey guys, this is Jay Lethal, the Blunt Machismo, and woo, the Nature Boy, and you're listening to the Potsy and Tino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak. That's right, the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called the Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for the low, low price of 99 Jones, 99 cents.
99.
Did I hit everything already? I don't even know.
I was laughing because all of a sudden, like the Black Machismo was going. Izzy, my dog, ran out the room and just stopped and looked at me. I'm like, what the fuck?
She heard the Nature Boy.
she came running out the room. She's confused. She came running the room, stopped and just looked at me.
She thought Ric Flair was over.
I'm gonna tell you, last night, speaking of Izzy, this was fucking hilarious. So sometimes she'll sleep in the bed with us, right? So Nicole and I were like laying in the bed watching TV. We weren't asleep. Nicole was reading, I was watching TV, and the dog was like cuddled up behind her. And all of a sudden you heard boom, and Nicole bust out laughing. The dog somehow rolled off the bed. And she got up and looked confused and ran out the room and looked back at me. I'm like, why are you looking at me?
That's
It was
awesome.
funny. We laughed for like 10 minutes.
Was the dog okay?
Yeah. She hit the floor. She hit the floor and she got up and she got up and she like ran out our bedroom. She came back and she looked in the room and looked at us, her tail wagging. I'm like, what do you did you think somebody knocked on the door? I don't know. She fell off the bed. It was hilarious.
That is pretty funny. Michael Jones says, "What's up? What's up with you, Michael Jones?" Yeet.
99 Jones. Yeet.
So Tino, we always start the show off with a little segment called "What's Up with You."
What's up with you?
So last week for you, what was up?
Oh, last week. Work, day job, that's a nonprofit. So I'm learning to do grants. So I'm doing my part for my department, my piece of the grant and all this stuff. I'm trying to get everything together. Just learning to do that is it's interesting, and luckily a lot of stuff I could cut and paste from last year's grant. It's pretty much the same information. Something I'll have to tweak and change. There's a certain part I got to write a new thing. I'm like, oh my god! So it's learning. It's learning, writing grants, and so that's pretty cool. And then Saturday we had our annual Christmas party, which was a blast.
Who threw up?
Nobody threw up actually.
What?
Nobody threw up. There was a lot of drunkenness, but nobody threw up here. I could talk to some people when they got home, they threw up, but nobody threw up here. Let's put it like that.
Gotcha.
And so towards the end of the night, like me, so the party usually starts at 7. Well, while we're straightening up, usually about 5:30 or 6, I'll start drinking, get a head start. So I'm drinking like Haitian rum and Coke and cups like that. So by the time people start getting there, I had a pretty good buzz on, and then we did that. We did our, of course, we did the cinnamon toast crunch shots and all the different shots. So by people started leaving probably about 2. So, but yeah, so
Long
people.
party.
So about 1:30. What usually is in the past it's been till like 4.
Question marks.
So
Yeah.
so people start leaving about 2, but like about 1:30, I was like, I wasn't drunk. Well, I was drunk, but I wasn't thrown up drunk. But I knew if I'd have kept doing shots, I would have. So towards the end of the night, they were like, here to give me a solo cup. I don't know what was in it. I smelled it. I'm like, nope, if I drink this, I'm gonna throw up. So I'm standing, so you know how my house is set up. So I'm by the kitchen sink and they're at the kitchen table and they did their toast and they had their backs to me. As soon as they were, I said, in the sink and they turned around. I was like,
That's funny.
but I didn't throw up. And then because our parties, everybody brings like appetizers and desserts. So we still had a shitload of food Sunday. So we just pretty much grazed all day Sunday, stayed in our pajamas, and that's about it. And recovered. But yeah, other than that, man, I can't complain. Getting ready for Christmas. I think when's my last day?
Mine's
Wednesday.
Friday.
Mine's Wednesday, so then I don't go back to the first of the year. I got to go in Monday for a little bit, but I don't really count that because nobody's gonna
I
be there.
I got Friday, that's my last day until the following Friday.
Hmm.
And then I got like 3 days that I think it's Monday, Tuesday that I have to work before my contract's up. So
And when's your contract? At like the
the
third? No,
31st.
like 31st. Wow.
Yeah. I'll get to that, but I had a hell of a week last week.
Yeah, I want to hear about this, especially I want to hear about Saturday.
Well, so let's start after the show on Monday. So I do my whole day of work on Tuesday. Uh I
Oh
get
yeah,
ready.
you were pissed. You were pissed. I remember. Okay, sorry.
I got my trivia night Tuesday night. I get in my car, and as I get in my car, I'm already thinking something's wrong. Like I don't know what it is, but I'm thinking something's wrong. And
How'd you know already?
well, Michael already knows what. Well, how did I know? I don't know. I just had that feeling like I was getting in the car, and I was going to be way early to trivia night and everything. I was going to get something to eat. I was going to stop at the chiropractor. Going to do all this stuff, right? Get in the car, turn the car on. 3 of my tires say they got 37 pounds of pressure in them. One of them says 30, and I'm like,
Well, sometimes too in my truck though, when it's real cold, my check engine light or check tire light comes on, and when you drive, as it warms up, it goes off.
but but I just had filled all 3 of them up the week or all 4 of them up the week prior. So they were all at like 35 to 37 ish, right? And the one says 30. And I said, I guarantee I'm going to get about 50 feet out of this parking lot area and it's going to tell me I have no air in that tire. Lo and behold, it said I had no air in that tire. And if you remember, Tuesday and Wednesday, it rained like a motherfucker. So I'm like, okay, it kind of calmed down raining a little bit, and I was like, let me just grab a hoodie. I'll put the hoodie on. I'll try to change the tire. Well, it was so wet outside that the jack kept going like this and then falling out from underneath it because my jack is only this big. Like for my Buick, my jack's only this big. So I'm like, well, this sucks. So I had to call an Uber to go to. So I had to call an Uber because I wasn't canceling trivia because I get paid for that. So I go, I do trivia, I come back, it's still raining, but I'm like, I'm gonna try it again. Like let's try to get the car jacked up, get the tire off, whatever. I get all 5 lug nuts ready to come out and everything, and fucker falls again. And I'm like, luckily the lug nuts weren't off, so the tire stayed on and it didn't affect the rim, didn't affect the brakes, so the car was fine. But I was like, what the like? Why does this thing get? And my driveway's on a little bit of a slant, but
Hmm.
it would go pop, and then the whole thing would just fall. And I was like, okay, nope. So I text my brother because my brother's normally up stupid late. So I was like, hey, tomorrow morning, I gotta be at the comic shop by like 11 a.m. So can you be here so that I can change my tire? Don't get a response.
Dave,
Yeah, don't get a response. So I get up at 8 o'clock the next morning, call him, and he's like, "Yeah, I can be over there." So of course he takes his time, whatever. But I'm thankful that he came over because he has like one of those big jacks, like a pallet jack. So he was able to sit. He put it under there, and I just went and it was like ready to go. And
mhm.
5 minutes after that, get the thing off, whatever. And I'm just like, like I'm soaked. I gotta dry. I gotta get ready for the thing now and all this other shit. So I'm an hour late to the comic book signing. Nothing could be done about it. Like it was just gonna be that way. Michael actually showed up, so I really appreciated him. Yeah, you're a little foggy tonight.
There you
There you go. Now you're cleaner. So I get to the comic shop, and luckily I'd been talking to Daniel, the owner of the comic shop, ahead of time because they didn't get their copies of Die Hard in on time because the shipper, so the Diamond Distribution, the people that actually like ship the book from their place to the comic shops, shipped it late. So all the comics that came from them last week showed up late. So it wasn't just my comic, but it was
I'm
all
gonna
of them.
be pissed.
Luckily, I had my copies, so I brought my copies to the shop, and we were able to sell, and we had a really good time. I mean, like I want to say about 40 copies went out in the 4 hours that I was there. So about 10 copies an hour. I think that was a pretty good signing. I actually had a line of people waiting for me when I got there.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah. And the funny story about that is a buddy of mine named Les, who comes to trivia almost every week, showed up because he's like, hey, I wanted to support you. I'm like, hey, I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Well, while I'm sitting there having a conversation with him, someone else comes up and they go, hey, can I get my copy of your book signed? And I'm like, absolutely. So I'm sitting there signing it, and then Les is still standing there, and this kid sits there and he goes, can I get a picture with you? And Les is just like, like looking at me like why does this guy want a picture with him? So I'm like, yeah, sure. So he comes up, take the picture, do all that stuff, and then the dude walks away, and Les looks at me and he goes, are you like a celebrity?
Did he not know?
And I was like, no, I'm not a celebrity. And he's like, dude, because that was crazy to just watch someone ask if they can get their picture with you. And I was like, I don't know why they want pictures. So they could, so if I become famous, they can say I met that guy. Maybe, I don't know, but it was a really fun time. Did trivia Wednesday night. Went to get my tire replaced on Thursday, right?
Mm.
And I was already thinking, okay, the last time, like when you have like a nail in your tire or whatever, your tire doesn't typically say 0 pounds of pressure. It normally says it's got like 9 pounds of pressure,
Right.
because it's seeping out. It's not fully out of. Michael, I was going to bring that up, but I don't think it's inappropriate for the wrong reasons, not because it's sexual or anything else. But Michael and I got to see photographs of dead bodies last week because a buddy of ours is a either a sergeant or a captain on the police force, and has some video like pictures saved on his phone, so we got to see some of that stuff, and it all looks fake, and it's not fake.
Oh God.
It's horrible. But anyway, so I go Thursday. I have to take my work laptop with me. I have an appointment at 1:00, so I'm like, okay, I get my tire looked at, get it filled with air if I need it. But I'm already thinking I got to replace the tire, right? And my tires, I mean, I've had them for 55,000 miles, maybe even 2 of them. I think I have actually had since the day I bought the car. So I mean, 65,000 miles on the car at this point. So I mean, it's time to get new tires, Well, I'm not buying 4. I don't have it right now. I'm not, but they tell me that the tire that they can't figure out what's wrong with it. They're like, your tire's fine, and I'm like, no, the tire's not fine. They're like, well, did you do anything that would have caused it to like lose all the air? And I'm like, you mean like hold the little button in so all the air comes out? No, why would I do that to my own tire? Right? The guy's like, but there's nothing wrong with your tire. I just filled it with air. I even put like some of that little like foam stuff in there so that it like starts coming out if there's any holes. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with the tire. I was like, there's something wrong with the tire. He goes, well, he's like, well, I mean, like, I can't find anything wrong with it. I was like, all right, well, if you're going to put the tire back on the car, could you at least let it sit in the bay for like another 10 minutes just to see if it runs out of air? And he goes, I can do that. I was like, all right, cool. Lets the tire down, walks back out 5 minutes later and says, yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the tire. I was like, fucking right there is. It had no air in it. 0. None. I was like, yes, there's something wrong with the tire. And he goes, Mr. Helios, what's up? I thought you were coming over.
Mhm.
I wonder if he's in the car right now. Or if he made the decision to not come out this way. So anyway, they tell me, hey, that was one of the 2 tires that you replaced the last time. So you bought the warranty on your tire. So since we found out that there's like a gash in the tire,
So
and
there was a gap.
So it wasn't like somebody slashed the tire, but it was like the rubber just came apart. So old tires, He said, who knows? So anyway, they go, well, you had the insurance on your tire, so we replaced that one for free. And I'm like, yeah, but now you're going to tell me that you don't replace just one tire at a time. And they're like, yeah, you don't. And I was like, I know. So how much is it going to,
And it can replace just the two that you got.
yeah. Well, not even the two that I got. So interestingly enough, one of them that they replaced for me before, uh, they left that one. So I've got 3 tires with a warranty on them and 1 tire that doesn't. Uh, which is, to me, it's just hilarious. But so I've got 3 different types of tires on the car now, because the 2 that I bought are the same exact tire. And when I replace the other 2, I'll replace them with either the same ones that I just got, or I'll replace them with 2 other tires that match up pretty well with it, whatever. But as I'm getting done, because it cost me like $300 after putting the warranties on the tires and paying the removal fee and the waste fee and all that shit for it. I say to the person ringing me up, I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know that the guy almost let me leave with the old tire. Like, I knew there was something wrong, and he was like, I can't find anything wrong with it, and I knew there was something wrong with it. Like, so I don't know what your policy is. Like, I'm not trying to get him in trouble, but maybe if someone comes in here and they have 0 pounds of pressure in their tire, that you just take it off the jack, so that way you can see it deflate really quickly. Like, because otherwise I would have gotten about 8 feet from here and had to turn my car back around and ride on my hubcap back into here. Like, it's just ridiculous. But I got that taken care of. Got the new tire put on, and then went through the rest of my work week. Luckily, like I said, I was able to bring the work laptop over there because I knew I was going to be sitting there for a while, so I was able to sit there and get some work done. And then Saturday, drove down to Fayetteville for the Dragon's Lair exclusive launch of the Died Hard #1 cover. Signed a bunch of those. Went out, got a good bite to eat, then went over to the White Rabbit pub where we ended up signing more copies, and it was a little bit, I'm not going to say it was slower than I anticipated, because like we signed like 10 copies prior, so all those people had already like gotten theirs, and then like people would slowly come up for like that hour that we were there signing the book. But I mean, like, I have a 5-letter last name when I sign. I sign Potsy. That's how I sign it. So I grabbed 5 different color markers and was signing my name in 5 different colors. So it was like a P in one color, an O in another color, a T and I was like, why not? I'll do something different for this one. So that's what I did there. Had a great time. It was a blast. After we got done there, I was staying at a brand new hotel out in Fayetteville called True, which I guess is owned by Hilton. Quaint place, not like a suite or anything, but it was a nice king size bedroom, so it was good for what it was. And there was an Outback Steakhouse right next door. So when I got back to the hotel, I went over, had a couple adult beverages, drew some sketches for the people over there, and then went back to my room and was back in Durham by 11:30 the next day. So all in all, pretty fun week. Died Hard #2 available for order right now. Comes out February 12th. Letting everybody know that. Here you are with that. The first issue is out in stores. #2 can be ordered now. And then one last thing I want to talk about in the What's Up With You before we start getting into our topics, Tino. My buddy, who I've known probably even longer than you, because it's my buddy Junior that used to live in California. Now he lives in Tennessee. He's the one that I went to King of the Ring and actually got the folding metal chair with, I think, before you and I ever went to a wrestling event together.
Wow.
I remember it was sponsored by Super Soaker.
Dude, that was a while ago.
Yeah. So it was like 1997, I think, is when we went to that King of the Ring. Maybe 90. It wasn't the Hell in a Cell one. I think it was the one before that. Was the one, and it was in Greensboro that we had to go to it. But he actually came here for that, all that good stuff. Well, this week he's an artist as well. He runs a runs a website called Angry Lemonade, which actually has fully licensed for specific indie wrestlers, has their likeness and everything, where he can put out different like merchandise for them. So he does like pins, he does stickers, he does t-shirts, and he does it for a bunch of different indie guys. So like Hammerstone was one of the guys that he actually had a deal with at one point.
I'm listening to Cats right now. I'll show you. Go ahead.
Sure.
Hammerstone.
Yeah. So he reaches out to me last week. And for those that don't know, Junior and I had actually at one point, we were supposed to do a comic book called the Artie Van Star Adventures, which is my character Artie, who shows up in Immortal as the yellow alien. I'm sure Tino knows who he is. Michael, you probably know who he is. What's that?
Artie is my favorite.
Well, now he's your second favorite because you're a character in Zor.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But he was supposed to draw a comic of Artie like 20 years ago, and for whatever reason, like either he wasn't fully invested in it, I wasn't fully invested in it, and you know, it kind of fell through, kind of fell apart. But he reached out to me last week and said, hey, do you have any comic books that you know you need an artist on, because I feel comfortable with it. I feel to where like at this point I can sit there and get a full comic book done and be happy with the end result and be excited about what's going on with it. And I said to him, I was like, well, what do you want to draw? And he goes, I don't care, I'll draw whatever. And I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, don't give you that out.
Well, and what's funny about it is the two of us had created a character together at about the same time that we were supposed to do that Artie Van Star Adventures. It was a character named Dread Mutt. And he's basically
Dread
Mutt.
M-U-T-T.
M-U-T-T, Dread Mutt. And he was basically like a bounty hunter in space. You know? So we had created this character, and I said, well, what if we just did a comic of Dread Mutt? And he goes, dude, you don't have to do that just because like we co-created it back in the day. And I'm like, no. I literally just had this idea pop in my head. And I was thinking, do I bring back Junior High Horrors and let him draw that? Do I let him draw like a completely new property that I've been contemplating, thinking about, and just haven't put on paper yet? And then I just went, no, I have this great idea. We both love 80s action movies. We both love bad puns and you know, one-liners and dumb shit like that. And he's like, so you're serious? I was like, yeah, but instead of being a bounty hunter, what if he's a tracker? You know, so kind of like the show Tracker, where, you know, like he hunts people down, and in this situation, he's gonna find out that there's a girl that was kidnapped, and he's got to get the girl back to her dad, and he has to take down all of these. Since he's a dog man, if you will,
dog the bounty hunter,
kind of, yeah. There's going to be hybrid like characters. So like there's one that's half bear, half human. There's another one that's going to be like half something, half something. You know, and then there are humans as well, but like it's like a dystopian future where they've done genetic testing to make people be able to survive in different environments and things like that.
Gotcha.
So the character gets called in, and of course where the call comes into is Artie's. So Artie's on the phone sitting there taking the call, and then he goes, hey Mutt, we got a job. And you know, like Dread Mutt talks in like, when I say one-liners, that's one thing, but like when he looks at a bad guy, he goes, you sit, stay, you know. So it's gonna be almost like if John Wick is sitting there as a dog, sitting there telling you to sit and stay and roll over and, you know, like dumb shit like that.
That's awesome. Awesome.
And they're like, we've already started thinking that you know, there's just moments where you see like a squirrel run by and he's in the middle of a monologue and he just stops to look at the squirrel. But then it's going to be like an 80s, action film. So you're going to have the big explosions. You're going to have all that stuff. And I literally, like, I got so, like, excited about it. And he's like, well, man, you don't have to make it this book, like it could be. And I'm like, no. I want it to be this book. As soon as we stopped chatting that night, I sat there, wrote up the entire treatment, sent it over to him. And he's already like laid out. And when I say laid out, it's normally like smaller images of like breaking down what your pages are going to look like. He's already done like 18 of the pages.
How many pages are there?
I have a feeling he's going to make it about either 28 or 32. Just because like every time he turns around, he's got another idea of something he wants to throw in there. Because like, talking about 80s action films, he's like, oh man, I want his introduction to be like the scene in the movie Cobra, where there's a guy like robbing a convenience store and Sylvester Stallone comes in and just like beats the shit out of him in the place. And I'm like, you can do that. Can you fit it in one page? He's like, it's probably going to be 3 or 4 pages. Okay, I don't care, whatever. You're the one drawing it. You go ahead and you make as many pages as you want. But just remember, like a comic book in a comic shop, if you make it more than a certain amount of pages, it's going to cost this much. So you got to keep that in account. But I mean, he's having so much fun with it, and I've started posting a couple pieces of like, he's just doing what he calls post-it note artwork right now, which is still digital artwork, but it's literally the size of the Instagram square, and it's just like the head and the bust of the different characters from it, and I've been reposting those saying image without context, or is there? Because like nobody knows what I'm talking about except for now, the people watching the Potsy and Tino show. But like he's so excited about drawing it. I'm excited about getting it so that I can dialogue it when he sends it back. So I mean, hopefully like I can't say that there's an official date or anything for it because I don't like saying anything like that early. But I would anticipate that you will see it pretty much after Die Hard finishes. So
I'm trying to see. Did you put it on your Insta?
I know I've got it. I know I posted the image of him on Facebook, and I think I put it on my Instagram story, and it probably already expired.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to see if I can find it, maybe hold it up, but no, you're right. I don't see it. It's about a lot of the Die Hard stuff.
Michael just wrote "Big Bad Mutt Dog." So yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that because like interestingly, all of these stories, I get to writing different things, and then all of a sudden, like somebody goes, "Hey, do you want to write something that I can draw?" And before I know it, I'm sitting there going, "All right, how about this?" And while I'm even just thinking about it, I'm writing like it's already in my mind exactly what's going to happen. So that like immediately goes to the forefront. So like with Zor, when Michael asked if I wanted to do that, I pretty much dropped everything so that I just do Zor. Die Hard, pretty much same thing.
Since you put it on Facebook, can I show it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Tell me. Can you see it?
Yep.
He looks like another character. Kind of like, on the old Tom and Jerry and like Spike. He kind of looks like a bulldog.
When he was creating like the design for it, he was like, I don't want it to look like your standard, just dog man or whatever. He wanted it to look like he's got the really bulky shoulders and then he's got the really small waist and small legs. And if you actually see the whole thing, which is funny because when you see a bulldog, that's exactly what they look like. They got the really big arms and the really big chest, and then they got these little back legs.
Yep.
So
that's awesome.
So I am pretty excited about that. I think that if everything goes as planned on it, it's going to be a pretty darn cool thing. So yeah. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah. Where's Mr. Helios? I guess he's at home.
I
I seen he
I
said
think he just
Spike.
commented again. He commented Spike, but
He never
I
said where he was.
let me. He didn't text me, so if he's showing up, he's showing up. I don't know, but we'll move on. We'll let him talk about what's up with him when he gets here, if that's what it comes to. But weekly TV watching, Tino. I don't know if you noticed, but a specific Christmas movie came out on Prime this week. Happened to star a pro wrestler and Captain America.
Well, it wasn't the Rock one, was it? The
Yes, it
red
was.
one. It's out of the theaters already.
No, it's probably still in theaters, but
Uh,
you have to think, and you know, people online were sitting there going, "I can't believe Red One's already on Prime," and I was like, "When else would you put it out on Prime? Because it's got to be out before Christmas."
well, I need to check it out then. I didn't know it was on Prime because I want to see it. I've heard it sucked, but I'm one of those when people say something sucks, I'm like, let me be the judge of it.
So I'm gonna say this: I thought it was basic. I don't think it sucked. And I enjoy watching The Rock. I enjoy watching Chris Evans. Interestingly enough to me, though, the person who came up with the story for it was none other than his ex-wife's husband, Hiram Garcia.
Really?
So the fact that Amazon put $250 million behind it, and it was an untested writer who actually
Oh,
gave them the
they
treatment.
probably figured with Chris Evans and Dwayne Johnson in it, it was going to make money.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that I don't know where the $250 million went when making the film. It looked great, and visually, like the special effects and everything were a lot of fun, but it was not a $250 million movie.
It's probably salaries. A lot of it's salaries, I'm sure.
Well, and one of the things that they actually said, and they've been asking everybody about like Dwayne Johnson's lateness on set and stuff like that because of all the other things that he's doing, and I could see that being something that's costs back every day. But $250 million, I don't think so. Like it just when you watch it, tell me if you think that it had an Avengers size budget.
Well,
How
he
about that?
probably, but how much do you think The Rock got for that, though?
Well, considering he's a producer on it, he gets money just from being the producer. But and it was made by $7 Productions. He probably got 40, and
40 million?
Chris Evans probably got 25 to 30, and then everybody else is just your regular actors, though.
Hmm.
You know, it's not like Lucy Liu's getting $40 million to make a movie. You know, J.K. Simmons isn't getting $40 million. They might get 2 or 3 million, maybe 5. They're not getting more than that. So, and then of course, like I said, special effects wise is where I would assume most of the money went into it. Because
Probably locations and running
maybe,
places if they didn't, so.
yeah,
Eh.
but again, after you watch it, since you're probably going to watch it over the next couple days, after you
Mhm.
watch it, tell me whether or not you felt it had an Avengers size budget
Okay.
or should have had an Avengers size budget. How about that? Because I don't see it. I don't know why. Um, Amazon also had probably the most expensive animated series of all time come out this week, and that's where you see what it says called Secret Level. I'll give you some context on this. Secret Level was created by Tim Miller, who was the director on the first Deadpool movie,
Hmm.
but he also runs the biggest video game animation studio in the world, and it's called Blur Studios. Blur
Blur
Studios,
Studios.
they make all of like the cutscene videos for most of the video games out there. So like if you see a game from Blizzard, like Diablo or something, they do all the videos for that. They do all the videos for I'm trying to think of what else. I think they did Baldur's Gate. I think they did, but I mean the again, he's the guy that did the first Deadpool, and he was the one that like did most of that in CGI, so that way he could send it to Fox and say, "See what I can do with this limited budget." But it seems like, and if you watch this, Arnold Schwarzenegger does a voice in one of the episodes, Keanu Reeves does a voice in one of the episodes, and the way that they're all done is they're all like 16 to 20-minute episodes of cutscene. They feel like a cutscene directly out of one of those video games. So like one of them was Dungeons and Dragons, one of them was Counter Strike, one of them was something else, and then one of them, like the last one, which has Keanu Reeves in it. When you see the animated Keanu Reeves, you're like, holy shit, like that's incredible.
Hmm.
So
What
and like I
what
said,
is the premise of it? Or just different cutscenes from video games?
pretty much.
Okay.
Except they're not actually from the video games. They're just like a single story set in that video game world.
Okay. I'm about to
It's
check it
worth
out.
watching. It's worth watching. And then of course I've been watching a bunch of different Christmas movies over the past couple weeks, just because that's what I do at this time of year.
I'll probably start binge watching Christmas movies. I'm gonna probably start my first one I'll probably watch is gonna be hadn't decided yet. I saw Jingle All the Way. I hadn't seen that one in a minute. Um Jingle All the Way. There was one I saw just the other I'd never seen before. It had uh I think it wasn't Danny, was it Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick? And like they're supposed to they want to be like the it was on Hulu because there's some different Hulu Christmas movies, and he was wanting to who they were trying to Danny DeVito's character's trying to wanted his house to be seen from outer space, so he's trying to get the lights to light it up. And so, and Matthew Broderick, he's a neighborhood. He's like, I'm the Christmas guy. So then they obviously start having competition. I got to watch Christmas with the Cranks. I usually ended up, my last two movies that I watch is usually Christmas Vacation. And my all-time favorite, the one I have to watch is A Christmas Story. I'll end it with A Christmas Story.
So I want to ask your opinion about something, but first I want to sit there and tell you that I watched one that I'd never watched before, and it's called Fat Man, and it's got Mel Gibson playing Santa Claus.
Fat Man, Fatman.
Yeah, and
Fat Man.
and Walton Goggins plays a hitman, and this kid who's super rich, who hates Christmas, hires Walton Goggins to kill Santa Claus.
Ah, what is that on?
I think it's on Peacock.
I gotta watch that.
I think it's on Peacock, and it's funny because Mel Gibson as Santa Claus is going through like where they don't have enough money to keep the lights on at the North Pole. So he's got to sign a government contract to start developing like different things for the government.
I think I have seen that. I think I have seen that. Yes,
It's so bad, it's hilarious.
I
But
have seen it.
Walton Goggins as the hitman that gets paid to kill Santa Claus, like he is so into the role
Because who
that
played his wife? It was who played Mel Gibson's wife?
uh, a large African American woman.
Yeah, I did see it. I did see
And
it.
by the way, I thought that was done specifically to try to make it look like Mel Gibson's not as racist as he really is.
Because it came out after all that shit happened. That's exactly what it was. Yeah,
So
I did see that movie.
okay, so I watched Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story already this year because typically on Thanksgiving night after Thanksgiving dinner I watch Die Hard. And then over the next couple days after that, I watch Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story. Now I've started watching A Christmas Story Christmas, which is the sequel to it.
Yes.
And my question to you is, do you like that sequel?
As much as I didn't think I would, I did because it was a continuation. Like a lot of times when they do sequels like that, they fuck it up, right? And so they didn't. I like that they kept Peter Billingsley They had the kid that played Randy. I mean, all his friends, childhood friends, played themselves. But my favorite, I was waiting. I was like, "Where's Farkas? Where's Farkas?" And he
Where's
finally came
Judge
in,
Farkas?
and he was the cop dude. And yeah, and then like you said, I think you said it last week. It goes back. It
Yes.
loops back around to the old man,
Yeah.
and the Christmas to the original movie. So I thought it was well done. I
So
enjoyed it.
you can watch it in either you can watch
Yep,
the first one or the second one first, and then just flip flop them,
yep.
and it's cyclical, and I love that about it because as Ralphie starts reading the story to the family, it's like I can put on a Christmas story now, because that's exactly what he's talking about when he does that. The
Yes,
other one that I
Michael. Deck the Halls. That's the one. It's called Deck the Halls. But it's on my Hulu to watch. It looks funny as hell.
so
That's
the
one
other
maybe
one that
get
I
on my
the other one that I've started watching now, I think every year it's gonna be one of those things for me is 8-Bit Christmas, where
Is
all the
that Adam
kids.
Sandler?
No. You're thinking Eight Crazy Nights, which
Okay.
is the Hanukkah movie.
Okay.
8-Bit Christmas has Neil Patrick Harris in it as a dad whose daughter wants a cell phone, and he goes, "I'm gonna tell you a story about something I really wanted for Christmas and I wasn't allowed to get," and it's all about like 1987, 88 when he wanted a Nintendo.
87, 88. He was Doogie Howser.
Well, no, but this movie came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But so he's the dad in it, and he's telling a story about when he was like a 12-year-old kid.
But that's what I was saying. I was being funny. Like back when he was 12-year-old, he was Doogie Howser.
He was doing. He could have bought his own Nintendo. He was a
Yeah.
doctor.
Another movie I gotta watch again because people it's a Christmas movie is the one we both like with God where Santa Claus has to go save the family. You base Die Hard
Oh,
off that.
Violent Night. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah. I bought Violent Night just this week because it's on Stars and it's not on anything else now.
Are you
So I was like,
serious?
yeah. So I was like, I guess I'll buy it. So I bought it on my Google.
Well, I gotta buy it then because that movie, yes.
Oh, it looks
I
like
was planning on,
we might be getting a guest.
Oh, oh, oh.
is he high?
Probably.
Oh.
T-
No.
Tino just asked if you were high.
You smell what tequila tea is cooking.
Oh
Christmas.
damn.
Tino, I had a gift for you, but you're not here. I didn't know you weren't going to be here. But Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
I'm coming.
Oh my goodness.
Well, leave it there and Rob don't drink it.
Well, I think that's my gift.
No, he said he had one for me. He said
I
he's gonna
mean,
leave it
so
there.
so all right.
That's for us.
Oh, okay.
Well, damn.
So all
That's
right,
gross.
Tino, you ready to see? You ready for the unboxing of the Christmas gifts?
Yeah, what you got?
All right, I got a Rocky Maivia Funko Pop
Oh, sweet.
with the pineapple top. And I think he went a certain direction with this. Hold on, what do we got here? We got a Rowdy Roddy Piper Funko Pop.
Oh, nice.
What else? Man, you didn't have to get me anything.
I have to do a lot of things.
That's true. You did not. Wait, I think there's another one. There is a Finn Balor.
Oh,
Funko Pop.
sweet.
And this one looks like it's an exclusive. Oh, it's an Amazon exclusive.
Sweet.
He's got the finger guns out.
I got you the two Irish guys for a reason.
What'd he say?
He got me the two Irish guys for a reason.
Because you're a ginger.
No, fighting Irish.
Oh, okay. There he is. What?
And
My man's in sunglasses in the house. All right.
and of course, because it's all about The Rock, we got some Terramana tequila in here too.
Oh, I got some Terramana back there.
but it looks like we also have some Patron.
I got a little bottle of Patron. Damn, we thinking they're all the same. We'll both be jumping.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I will get up and give you a hug when the show is
That's
over.
all good. You don't need to do all that.
I have to swing by, I guess, and get mine. Like I said, I've been doing. I got a promotion at the job, so I don't get it. Then I have to do my
He
class. By the
doesn't get
time I get
over
out of my
here as
class,
often.
yeah. By the time I get out of my class, it's at 8 o'clock, so we got to just jump right on the show. But I will definitely have to swing by there
Can you put these on the chair behind me?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you, sir.
to get my stuff.
Oh yeah, there's fine. I was just thinking right here behind me, but all right. So Mr. Helios, why don't you tell us what's up with you? Man, you even have like the rock shiny shirt. Dude, it's shiny.
I'm blessed with it. Yeah, we celebrate 10 days of Christmas. We have 10 more days left, 9 more days.
10 more days of it?
And I mean, not much going on. I was hoping I'd get here so I wouldn't have to talk about myself. I was hoping we were already into the wrestling.
What we were just getting ready to start. We were talking about Christmas movies first.
I saw that.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
It's either Home Alone or Home Alone 2 or Batman Returns. The Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
Is it a Christmas movie or is it a holiday movie?
It's a holiday film. Either way,
look, bitch, if you said Die Hard can be a Christmas movie, Batman Returns can be a Christmas movie too.
Well, so there's actually, and you can look it up online. There's 11 things that your movie can have in it. That if you have at least 7, you can classify yourself as a Christmas movie. I agree that it is a Christmas movie because they start giving out Christmas presents and everything else in the film. So I do agree with that, but you know, kind of like even the Dexter New Blood is kind of like a Christmas season of Dexter. But you know, like it's questionable for Batman Returns that it's a Christmas movie rather than a holiday time movie.
Why is that?
There's just other stuff that happens in it where it isn't focused solely on the Christmas holiday, whereas Die Hard actually is. Die Hard's at a Christmas party. Die Hard's on Christmas Eve. He says, "Ho, ho, ho, now I have a machine gun." Go ahead.
Alfred does says how in Batman Returns, "Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne."
Well, then okay. If it gets mentioned, then
get him, Terrence. Get him, Terrence.
There's also giant presents, unless it's a giant birthday all year round in the snow.
Well, they open up
Christmas tree, and then you know there's a holiday party that Max. That's where Selena wants to kill Max at. You know, it's a holiday party.
Max.
It's a holiday film.
No, I that's why I'm asking, because you know everybody always wants to throw the whole "is Die Hard a Christmas movie?"
It is,
and I on my Facebook page I posted the ultimate rebuttal to anybody that says it's not. When Fox put out the commercial for it, it says the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
In the commercial, don't make it so.
Have you seen what?
They're the ones that made it.
I don't
so
know.
They're saying it's a Christmas movie.
I don't know if it's official. I think it is, but don't quote me on this. But have you seen the Sonic 3 advertisement where they're taking all the Sonic characters and putting them all for their posters to all Christmas films, and Die Hard was one of them?
Oh no.
That was pretty good. Like they're reinventing all the like Christmas posters with Sonic in them for Sonic 3, but Die Hard was one of the Christmas movies.
So outside of the Christmas movie thing, you do have something coming up that's going on that you're going on a trip, right?
Oh, I'm taking a
going on a trip to his favorite rocket ship.
I'm going to Colorado. My younger brother's out there stationed, so we're taking a road trip. Me, my sister, my mom, driving on next Monday. So,
and he says 24 hours. Good
24
night.
hours.
Are you guys? So, how are you splitting that up? Are you driving straight through, halfway, taking a couple of days, stopping?
We're probably gonna take up turns. 8 hours a piece, but then probably even break that up 4 somewhere. Depends. I know I don't have the first round because I worked the night before, so I got that. But yeah, we're going to stop a few places and see a few states since it's a chance to get to see a few states I've never been to.
Hey.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Tino. This coming Saturday, I'm doing my birthday dinner at the Peddler so that I can get one of them amazing steaks.
Oh yeah, you were talking about it. I thought you said the 19th. I thought I saw on Facebook you were talking about doing karaoke somewhere at Heroes.
Yeah, out at Heroes on Thursday night. That's the plan right now. Terrence can't do it. He's got to work. What's that?
Where's Heroes?
Off of Six Forks. You know where Vinny's Steakhouse is? The one that's
Yeah.
actually like Vince McMahon and all the wrestlers go to? Yeah, it's right next door to it.
What time are you doing that?
Well, I'm having dinner with my sister beforehand, and I'm having dinner probably around 7. So I will probably hop into an Uber 9 o'clock ish.
Okay.
If I
No
can get out
problem.
there earlier, I will. But karaoke's 8 to midnight. So
Okay. I haven't been to karaoke in fucking forever.
me neither. That's I think the last time I went was July 4th.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, we ready to start talking about some wrestling?
Do some wrestling.
Where do you want to start, Tino? You want to start with Monday Night Raw? You want to start with NXT because NXT was the only one not really on the Saturday night's main event stuff?
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Because
All right.
Monday Night Raw, I'm trying to think of anything really. I think they were still building to Saturday night's main event.
They were also doing some of the matches for the women's Intercontinental title stuff. So
And I think NXT was still coming off of
Deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did pull up some different information, so let's see what we got. That's Saturday night's main event. So we'll go to something else first. I think this one not okay. So on Monday Night Raw, just so you know, if you want to hear what happened, Final Testament beat the Wyatt Six. Liv Morgan defeated Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Lyra Valkyria defeated Ivy Nile and Zelina Vega to move on in the Intercontinental title tournament. And Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez in what looked like a really bad match for Raquel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, the 2-hour Raw only had 4 matches on it, and 3 of them were women's matches.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. So now we'll go to NXT because obviously Raw was leading up to Saturday night's main event. We did have stuff go on that show where they were Sami Zayn called out Drew McIntyre, said he wants a match at Saturday night's main event. We had more build up on the Gunther Damian Priest and Finn Balor became an actual match at Saturday night's main event after we had sat there and said we expected it at Royal Rumble. So all right, so here we go on NXT. Man, there's a lot of advertisements on this stupid thing.
Who'd you get it off of?
Bleacher Report, but I'm not on the app.
Oh.
So all right, first match of the night looks like it was Kalani Jordan. Oh, actually no, she just stops Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade from beating up Julia. First match was Javon Evans versus Wes Lee.
Which, remember when they had that little spot at the pay-per-view, I said I would love to see them in a match, and they made my dreams come true with that match on Tuesday, because that match was balls to the wall. Awesome. What'd y'all drink?
Tequila.
Patron. Tequila Tea is my name.
Oh.
All right.
Interestingly enough, Bleacher Report gave that match a B-.
The fuck?
Yeah. The match itself was strong despite not hitting the lofty heights expected of 2 of NXT's most exciting performers. Is Dave Meltzer writing that?
Yes, because Omega and his damn people he have a heart on for, Omega and Ospreay weren't in it.
That's true. Although you know what's funny? I would say that I did like them in the Iron Survivor match more than I liked this match, just because I felt like the Iron Survivor had more excitement because of the time limit required in there.
Okay,
so I think they were faster paced and doing stuff a lot, you know. So that's where I would say that I saw that. Next up was Hank Walker and Tank Ledger versus Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe.
Yeah, I figured Hank and Tank with that because they're not pushing those other guys yet, which I don't understand why. Those are some big fucking boys.
Agreed. Did you watch NXT? No.
I'm in the start a new job this week. That was what was new with me. So I miss NXT and AEW this week. So
That's all right. We're gonna get to some of it. So Eddie Thorpe interrupts Trick Williams and Oba Femi, talks his way into the title match.
Mm-hmm.
So we kept him off of the Iron Survivor match, and yet he still gets into the match against.
Did you watch the end though
yeah,
of the show? Do you
I
see the
see.
end of NXT?
No.
So at the end, he's in there with Ava signing the contract, saying I got the thing, and she's like, "Yeah, we're still looking into who attacked you." He goes, "Oh, nobody attacked me. That motherfucker faked it."
He said, "I got what I wanted." He
Yeah,
turned-
but he's got Oba Femi in there
he turned-
too.
He turned heel just right then.
He turned heel.
Wow.
I think they're going to push him.
He about to be slimy.
They've got slimy heels already. I mean, they've got Ethan
But
Page.
you weren't expecting it from him.
But Ethan Page is he's pulling that whole I don't know what to do. I think he's thinking about hanging up the boots and doing all that shit.
Like Ethan Page has an aura of cockiness about him. Eddie Thorpe seems like he needs something. I don't think, even if he's slimy, I don't think he had that same cockiness that Ethan Page has. It might work for him. Like with that, if I could see him. Like, was he entered into is it a 1-on-1 or is he entered in a 3-way?
I think it's a 3-way, isn't it?
I can see him coming. I don't want to because I'm behind Oba Femi.
Do you think they sneak a win away from Oba Femi by giving it to Eddie Thorpe here now?
I can see that.
Wow.
Yeah, because Oba Femi was in it because Eddie Thorpe was hurt, right? So if they let if they let Eddie Thorpe win, right? They can go ahead and let Trent go off because we know he's going, and then Oba and Eddie can go back and forth for that title. Which we know Oba's going to get it because Oba's going to be that next champion.
Well, that's why I'm wondering whether or not Eddie Thorpe wins the championship first.
I'm saying,
causes Oba Femi to go babyface.
Yes, and then
so
Oba.
That's what you're thinking. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. JC Jane, Jasmine Minks versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, and we get a surprise return.
Shotzi
Blackheart makes a return. Although Fatal Influence defeats Dolan and Paxley by pinfall.
Yep, they cheated, but they did. They pulled the numbers game, like we knew they would.
Now I kind of like the idea if they decide they want to go Dolan and Shotzi as a tag team here, because I just love the craziness of the hair colors.
Mm-hmm.
Shotzi's got the green hair. Dolan's got the very orange hair.
No, I just had an epiphany. Did we skip over Raw?
We did.
Oh, Lord, we had so much to talk about on Raw.
Did we?
How are we not going to talk about how the New Day are getting dominant level of booze?
We can talk about we can talk about the New Day. Like I don't have I can even make a banner for them because they kind of deserve their own banner.
Okay.
We'll go back. I forgot about that. We'll go back to that.
We'll go back. Tony D'Angelo versus All Ego Ethan Page. No. You're right. That was something we did miss. And in that, D'Angelo defeats him by pinfall to retain the North American Championship.
Yep.
On his way out, Page questioned if he truly is all ego, calling himself lost and ashamed.
Yep.
That's because that's because every time he's doing an interview, he's got his glasses on. I mean, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Julia and Kalani Jordan. Little surprised this wasn't Stephanie Vaquer as the tag team partner, even though Kalani was the one that helped break up.
Because Stephanie got jumped. Remember, she came at that's why she came at the end. Out of the
yeah. She comes back.
She was supposed to be. She was supposed to be in that match.
Solid match. They gave it a B+.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it says that for Kalani Jordan, this was a frustrating end to her night when she was abandoned by her own partner.
Yes.
And that's how the show ended. By the way, that's 2 shows, 2 all-female main events.
Yes.
Okay.
I
want you to keep that in mind because I'm gonna keep that trend going. But before we do, let's talk about the New Day because
dude. My
because
favorite is they walking backstage trying to be nice to everybody and they're just turning their backs on them. And then Cody Rhodes here he comes, you ought to be ashamed. Like he's like, you be ashamed of yourself. He's shaming them. I'm like, really?
it blows my mind because the whole time for this build up, and by the way, I want to give Terrence all of his props here because he actually said Kofi's going heel, even though the build made it just look like it was going to be Xavier going heel. And I don't know if you guys saw Karrion Kross's tweet about it, but he was like, I would just like to go on record and apologize to both Kofi and Xavier because remember, he was sitting there trying to break them up.
Yeah.
And then they both go heel, so he says, I want to apologize to both of them.
He said, I was wrong. Yeah, he said, I was wrong about who the problem was. Oh, that was funny. No, I told y'all, like, I just had a feeling like I think it's gonna be a twist where they both go heel because they always said they wouldn't break up, and even if they did, like, I don't know. I like how they did it, and even when he came out trying to explain, we did the key thing. We didn't even break his neck. We didn't hit him with a chair. Yet look at the boos. That's how powerful that segment was. They didn't do anything to him, and
they told him to just sit back at the desk.
And I didn't even think that segment was as powerful as it could be because you could have done that. Mm-hmm. And I just sent you both an Instagram post where these dudes are talking about how he didn't even get his hair like lined up right.
I watched them all the time. I know you're talking about Big E could have got it. Why didn't you get your edge up before the
Exactly.
Big E alone. He could have got that spray shit, Terrence. He could have.
Well, I mean, his hair is kind of looking like. Remember when Kane first took off his mask and he had that little just.
My man's got the Stevie Wonder dude.
He got like
Terrence, Terrence, what I'm talking about. This is what I don't understand. This is what pisses me off about whoever is taking care of Stevie Wonder. They let this man keep his braids, but his hairline starts back here. But you know what I mean?
Maybe it's his choice. Maybe
I think he's got Hulk Hogan's hairdresser.
I mean, they say he's not fully blind. So what if he just?
That's true.
He sees
Stevie can drive
right here. It is back here.
I mean, Eddie Murphy does swear that he's actually been in a car where Stevie Wonder was driving. So
I don't want to be in that car.
Shaq said he got to the elevator and didn't even tell Stevie he was there. Like Stevie was like, "Hey, Shaq."
Well,
he might have smelled him. When you're blind,
that could have been a shadow.
Up.
That could have been a shadow. Like some blind people still see shadow. But
that's a big shadow. That must be Shaq.
But I am gonna say that this. You're absolutely right. It is the same type of nuclear heat that Don Callis gets and Dom gets. And Dom's not even getting that kind of nuclear heat anymore because they're finally like, oh, we're tired of giving it to him. So they needed someone to give it to. So why not the New Day? This is the most over the New Day has been in about 4 years, by the way.
You think?
Give Dom heat, or they realize that he's a man.
Oh, they're actually realizing they like him now.
He's a man. He's every little boy's dream right now.
Even though he's got that mustache, has got to go. I'm so tired of that porn Magnum PI mustache.
You know what? It works for him, and unfortunately, if you take a look at like the 20-something-year-old crowd out there right now, Tino, they all got that mustache.
He's really about to go to Eddie route. He's about to be hated so much that they're really about to start liking him, like you said, because the mustache does work for him. Like you love to hate him to the point that watch like in a year or two, like you said, it's gonna be easy to turn him face.
I'm gonna say right now that when he didn't have the mustache, he was a lot easier to hate.
He looked like a little twerpy kid. He still looks like an a-hole, but most people, like you said, that age. They cool with those.
But that's what they just don't have that. They just don't have the 12-inch mullet, like. But
you got that that's a Kentucky waterfall. That's what
the Tiger King look, like the Logan Paul. Speaking of Logan Paul apparently, I didn't put this as a banner, but Logan Paul apparently announced his retirement from pro wrestling.
What?
Yeah. Said I'm a dad now. I don't have time for that. Now,
he wants to go. He wants to train to fight Mike Tyson.
Now I wanna point out that after that, Hangman Page from AEW, and I'm only putting this on the Monday Night Raw one because there's another person that talks about it afterwards. But Hangman Page sat there and said, could we at least next time we give half my move set away, give it to somebody that's talented? And then so at Saturday night's main event backstage, Peter Rosenberg asked one CM Punk what he thought about certain people's move sets. And CM Punk stated, why are we calling it that? Let's not call it a move set. If you know wrestling moves, you do wrestling moves. Don't call it a move set, and only an idiot would call it a move set. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself,
he's taking a shot at Hangman.
He's taking a shot at Hangman. But I got to ask, Tino, in your opinion, is it better that CM Punk just answers that question and says the words moveset and keeps going with it? Or is it better for AEW and Hangman Page if CM Punk actually sits there and acknowledges the internet community by saying you must be an idiot to be talking about the term moveset? And the reason why I say that is because
it's a little of both.
There you go. Okay.
It's a little of both.
How do you feel about it?
I was saying, man, I'd wear a shirt tomorrow night that says, what would Kenta say?
Well, again, the term move is what's getting used here. I know. Whereas if I were Hangman, I would come out and I'd be like, man, some of those other programs are just putting me to sleep. And that's what I would say, something like that. But you're right. What would Kenta say? What would Kenta do? But then maybe just go, maybe be in the back, just staying on one of the benches. Just that's what I would do if I was Hangman Page tomorrow. But in all honesty, Hangman getting the rub from CM Punk there can't be looked at as a bad thing.
Mm-mm. That's why I said that thing is good for both sides.
Yeah, and even if he hates Hangman Page, him acknowledging it the way that he did, knowing that the wrestling community would pick it up,
and he acknowledged it on WWE television or programming,
at least on their website. But yeah,
more people are watching that.
So interestingly enough, yeah, interesting, right? I feel like it actually helps Hangman more than it hurts Punk. I don't think it hurts Punk at all saying you got to be a video game kid to sit there and call it a moveset.
Everybody knows that Punk's an asshole.
Let's grab generic wrestler number 7 and use his moveset. That's when they started calling it moveset. That's kind of the way that I looked at it. And then them asking Punk about I knowing Punk, he actually sat there and said, "Hey, Rosenberg, ask me a question about movesets."
He's gonna put a little extra spotlight on Hangman. He's better, some people, not all, because most people is not really that big a deal. But they're gonna be looking at him like, yo, you better make sure with this moveset that you were talking about being stolen that every match you perform. Because there are people that say that Logan Paul does that buckshot leg better than you. So you better, since you make that noise, now we turn to AEW. You better be looking like, you better look every match to show us why you feel like that.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. I know a lot of people hate Logan Paul. I get it. Person, whatever, but like I said on the internet before, I said on your Facebook profile, I was like, sometimes when the follow is there, you got to right. No, thank you. Appreciate it. He's talented. I give him all the props. And he may be a spot monkey, but the way he's learned how to move around that ring in the time he did.
Picked up on it quick. He picked up on it quick. And I was watching, I don't know, Rob, if I said it to you or somebody said it to me about him talking about his the move he did. What was it at WrestleMania where he jumped on the top rope and then flipped off? He said that's a once in a lifetime. He said if you notice too, the referee kind of made it, rubbed it, real slick. He said, but I don't want to do that all the time. He said I only do it once.
Yeah,
once. He said because you don't want to, because that you can mess it up.
So I'm gonna
spot monkey.
I'm going to pose a question to the two of you guys right now, and that's why I've moved it to Dynamite and Collision, where I'll pull up the Continental Classic and everything in just a minute. Although I do actually have specific banners for those. Is Logan Paul one of the few people that could instantly affect AEW's ratings in a positive way.
Yeah, just like he did. I mean, as much as people hated him, he brought eyes to WWE. So yeah, he'll bring more eyes. He'll bring more eyes to AEW. And he can go. I mean, much as I hate him, he can go. So yes, now with long term, you know what I'm saying? You know, he comes like we always talk about. They come and in about 2 or 3 months, they don't know what they're doing, and they'll kind of fizzle out. So, but for the 2 or 3 months that they push him to the moon, yes,
So go ahead, T.
I would say I don't think AEW could write Logan Paul the way the WWE did. I think, like he said, maybe for the first month or two, it'll look good, but then eventually it will look like every celebrity that was in WCW, except he can wrestle. That's the only thing that's the one thing that's saving Logan Paul. He can actually go. So that's why we have this conversation anyway.
So
they're already fucking up Ricochet.
They already
been there that long.
Ricochet.
Yeah, he ain't been there long. So that's what I'm worried about. If Logan Paul goes there, is he gonna be another Ricochet?
Well, you have to assume that if a Logan Paul were to go in there, he would actually say, "I'm bringing my own writers with me to do this." You know, but the people that he would want to
did he have his own writers in WWE? I don't remember.
No, but I mean, you have to think that the WWE having writers are going to sit there and have the right material for him, and that's why he originally signed the contract to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Tony Khan always sits there and is like, we don't have writers. We've got, you can write your own promo. Well, I don't know if I want to hear Logan Paul sit there and cut his own promo, but if he had a Brian Gewirtz that, you know, is his side piece that he can sit there and use to write his promos for him.
Dude, if he had a Paul Heyman.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, if they could get Logan Paul to say, I'll do 1 year full time, as long as you give me Paul Heyman, holy shit.
AEW would pick up ratings.
Well, but I mean, to get a Paul Heyman, you'd have to be WWE, because Paul Heyman, remember, is a Paul Levesque guy now. He said it in his speech. Like, he's going nowhere. You know, like he's there for life at this point. But imagine him even in the WWE ring. If you were to give him Paul Heyman and he said that he would be full-time for a year, he'd be world champion in 6 months. And then the next 6 months would be, how do you build him to lose that championship?
Mm-hmm.
And there would be nothing stopping that kid.
I mean, Not to mention look what he did for Roman.
Well, no shit, right? I mean, we're still in the middle of 4 years. Like, I would say we're in the 6th inning at this point, based on the terminology they used about it.
What he did for Curtis Axel.
Hey, Curtis Axel actually.
Shut up, T.
I'm sorry. I watched Crimp. It's feeling grumpy. Okay.
I've constantly said, when it comes to Curtis Axel, if they had just come out there and had someone sit there and call him Mr. Perfect, and had him sit there and go, Mr. Perfect was my dad. I'm just perfect. That was it. That's all you had to do with him.
No, I'll just throw a shot. Paul Heyman is one of the greatest. Yeah, he just had a few
that was Vince McMahon fucking him up.
Yeah.
You know, like Cesaro, one night he's out with him. The next night, Cesaro's like, I don't need you anymore, Paul. And it's like, no, you do. You absolutely do.
Because you do not have mic skills, sir.
You know, he does though, but I digress on that. But that's why I'm asking about the Logan Paul thing when it comes to AEW, because they always talk about how the ratings are going down for AEW. They're not moving up like they should be, because if the wrestling product is good, you would expect good ratings. The problem is that Tony Khan gives you that Ricochet versus Ospreay match a month into Ricochet being there, instead of building it up for 6 months.
Yes.
You build that shit up for 6 months, and I am salivating for that match. And Dave Meltzer's giving us first ever 7-star rating. You know, like,
you think?
I think.
I guess Ospreay's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ospreay's in it. I mean, if it was, you add Kenny Omega to the match, and suddenly it's like it's a 10-star match.
Logan Paul will succeed, even though I think he can actually cut his own promos. I'll make two people his. Only way I'll bring him in the AEW. One, I'd bring him in the Learning Tree because Jericho's so annoying, but it'd be a way for him to.
Would it be against Jericho or
kind of bring back the whole Jericho when he was talking about he was a sports entertainer? He already did on a sports entertainer dude. So, because Logan Paul will come to AEW where it's a really traditional, wrestling. They will be upset. Like I feel like this. You said they would have to write their promos. AEW would shoot so much. All the wrestlers would shoot every week on Logan Paul just because he's there doing stuff that they do all the time. While he will be just a guy coming in. Let him under Jericho kind of pull back that we're sports entertainers gimmick or Don Callis.
Anybody out there watching, go ahead and add your comments to the feed. I'm going to tell you right now, based on the storyline going today, I would sit there and immediately put him up against Jon Moxley because Jon Moxley's so Jon Moxley's like, I'm trying to fix the industry. And if Logan Paul walked in tomorrow and Logan Paul sat there with all this hype and wanting to sit there and get his prime energy drink and all this other stuff, and he's sitting there like just this, putting himself on his Instagram feed and doing all that instantly gets Jon Moxley over as the heel that he wants to be over as. Although, actually, it would get him more over as a babyface again. It would. Although Jon Moxley's, we mentioned it last week, is attempting murder every week right now. He's like, I want to get this back to being a wrestling program, and yet he's trying to murder people. He's literally trying to pour bleach and cleaner down people's throats. He's bagging people's heads. Like, but you could figure out a way to where the ratings would go up with Jon Moxley as your world champion going against a Logan Paul. You absolutely could.
You see what Turner said? He said, Prime and the internet can't even get Logan Paul right. How can the AEW?
Man, Michael Turner, I love you, but that's almost a Chris Barrett line right there.
No, but that's funny.
You're right. I haven't seen Chris Barrett in the audience,
no.
and he was messaging me on Instagram. So all right, I don't have the Dynamite or Collision pulled up, Tino. So if you watch them, you can go over that. I do, however, have the Continental Classic.
The only thing I want to talk about of course, you got the Continental Classic, but you had Mariah May and what's her name?
Toni Storm, or
her tag team partner from
Shirakawa.
Yeah, they wrestled, and Shirakawa obviously lost.
And I don't know if you saw in New Japan last week, but Shirakawa and Mercedes Moné had a dance off. Shirakawa won because she's. But I do want to point out that Toni Storm is now all elite.
And when she came back, did she come back Friday? Whichever night first night she wrestled. She wrestled 2 nights.
Her first match back was Rampage, but she came back on Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm talking about her first match back. So she did the whole, do you remember when she was Timeless Toni Storm and she would get the chick in the other corner, and before she did head attack, she would do this thing? She started to do it, and then she did the Toni Storm and then ran. So I think they're.
I love her character work right now. Like her going up and wanting to shake Thunder Rosa's hand, and Thunder Rosa's like, "Bitch, you're the one that put me out." And she's like, "Hi, I'm Toni Storm."
And Tony Schiavone, oh my God, I'm like, so I don't know what they're doing. I'm waiting to see.
I love it.
Right now they can't. Right now the Timeless. That whole with the black and white and everything, that was my favorite. So I'm gonna wait and see what they do with her now. Just wait and see.
I really feel like she's trying to be the new age Mick Foley.
You think they're gonna have the 3 faces of Storm?
Maybe. I don't know what the third face is.
Oh, well, they're 2 faces of Storm, yeah.
Nikki Cross beat her to that. Nikki Cross beat her to that.
Yeah, but
you got Nikki Cross, you had superhero Nikki, and then you got this.
Yeah, but nobody wants to remember superhero Nikki.
I love superhero Nikki.
it was a very well thought out thing, and it worked for 3 weeks. It was like an AEW gimmick on WWE programming.
She got her WWE.
She got the title. Yeah.
Yep.
The very first night. You're right. Which also kind of ruined the gimmick. Almost a superhero.
I like Toni Storm split personality. I want to know when she snaps.
I love that she has no remembrance that she was even this character, Toni Storm, in AEW before. I love the fact that it's like I just got here and now we're starting over fresh.
Yes, I'm interested to see where they go with it.
All right.
And then we have what else did we have? Something else. I think that's my girl came back. Julia Hart.
Yes.
Back.
Yes, she did. And man, she's a smoke show. She's like what, 21?
If that's 21, 22. She's young.
But now, like even when she got in the ring and she did what she did, like because she did it to Jamie Hayter.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
she's
so
coming for Jamie Hayter.
But I mean, she took her out with that like package DDT that she does, and it looked devastating, dude. Like I was impressed.
They're going to push her just like they think they're going to push Anna Jay, which I'm all for to get that belt off of Dan Mercedes when they send her back to wherever.
Yeah, when are they going to realize, like, and Terrence, Tino, tell me if I'm wrong, but when are they going to realize that the Mercedes Moné thing was a failed experiment?
I think they realize it. They just don't want to admit it.
I think she's finally picking up steam. Not saying I don't think it hasn't worked, but I feel like the last 3 weeks or since her last pay-per-view match has been a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie, and I might just be a little biased, but I don't think it has worked. But I can't front. I have seen it up. I think her splitting for Camille actually worked too.
I think they wasted that with Camille. I think they could have. I think they should have had Camille and Mercedes Moné. I'd have been interested in that. Maybe that could have helped build her a little more. Maybe give her a little more something.
Wasn't Camille actually injured though? Like, didn't she have a brace or a cast on?
Yeah.
I think that was part of the gimmick too. Because remember, she got jumped, so I don't know if she was hurt for real, and they wrote it into the gimmick, wrote it into it. But yeah.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if she's actually hurt. So,
I actually think they gotta get the belts off both the women champions. And I like Mariah May, but I think both the women belts need us refreshing.
Yeah, I think that. So who gets that belt from Mariah May? You think Toni Storm comes back and takes it because they got Thunder Rosa pushing for it. They have Chris Statlander. She's on a damn.
I was get on the one. Get Chris Statlander. Start putting Willow Nightingale in the those.
Yeah. You know what they need to do, which is something they haven't done. They need to do something like the battle royal or whatever that gives like the men's #1 contendership like 3 times a year. They need to do one of those where they haven't done it with the women's division. So like it's time to do that kind of thing, or maybe even the Dynamite Diamond Ring, like do that for a women's division thing. I'm not saying give another championship because I got too many championships.
They're pushing the same, and they've run into this problem. I've said it before. They're pushing the same people, then they pull in WWE people, and they keep them up top. But they've got these people on the undercard. Like you got a Chris Statlander, you got a Willow Nightingale, you got a Anna Jay, you got even Julia Hart coming back, who haven't even had a chance to sniff that women's title. You know what I mean? You got all these young stars who are capable of doing it, but we're putting it on Mercedes, and we're putting it on, Mariah May, which Mariah May isn't a WWE person, but you know what I mean? They're not pushing their homegrown talent.
Well, Mariah, you kind of have to say is homegrown because, I mean, like, she was fine when she was overseas, but she's been excellent since she's been in AEW. But you're right.
monthly.
You're talking the ones that have been there 5 years, and
Yes.
I agree. Like when Sky Blue comes back, I want to see her push.
Yes.
When I don't really care if Red Velvet gets pushed because she's not very good in the ring, but like your Willow Nightingale.
No. Red Velvet's pushing is putting her against shit people. Red Velvet's good.
Okay. I haven't seen enough of her new stuff. But I think doing one of these over the top battle royal tournaments to determine number one contenders for both titles would be a way. In fact, if you did it to where the last person thrown out goes after Monet's title, and the winner actually goes against Mariah May's, actually elevates both of those positions.
Y'all gonna hate me for this because what we just said about her. I would have Mercedes Moné drop her TBS title, and yet somehow win the women's heavyweight title the same night.
Ugh.
Then hear me out. That just because of that failure, But guess what? You already now have a built-in storyline waiting they've already fought for TBS, and you said you want to get your homegrown talent. Willow Nightingale's right there, and that's how you get that belt onto her easily.
Well, Willow Nightingale's not homegrown.
But I mean, but also Mercedes is also very hated. Like when you already hate her, now she got the main belt and you hate her. Willow, they overwhelmingly cheer for Willow over Sasha in the original feud. You do it again.
So I understand what you're saying. I think that the problem is that they hate her because she hasn't lived up to the hype that they expected of her. So if you give her the world title, you're basically just de-hyping your world title.
Hey, give her X-Pac heat.
Yeah. They need to figure out a way to get her New Day heat. Is what they need to figure out.
When somebody takes that belt off of her, it's like, yeah, like it'll be heaven. It'll be, you know what I'm saying? There'll be a celebration.
Yeah, I don't see it. I could see someone like Julia Hart coming in and winning that because she just looks like a little evil bitch.
That's fair.
You know,
and the house always wins.
Damn right. Could you imagine Brody King just standing behind her, like as she's cutting a promo or something? like the imagery of it is Shawn Michaels and Diesel, except for a women's title. I'm all for it.
Well, are you going to have then it's House of Black versus the Hurt Syndicate? Because Dame Moné will join the Hurt Syndicate just to have the group.
Oh, go ahead. It might finally get her some real heat for. Although they're cheering.
I'm not trying to be funny.
They're cheering
honestly,
the syndicate.
That's what I would honestly I would have her join the Hurt Syndicate. That way you have MVP as her mouthpiece. She doesn't have to talk anymore.
Oh God, yeah, please.
She doesn't have to talk anymore. And then, like I said, I would still do the same thing. Have her drop that belt, and the same night she dropped the belt, join the Hurt Syndicate, win the women's belt. Even more heat that she has, and now you're bringing up either Willow, Chris Statlander, or even what's her face? What you said, Julia Hart.
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay.
I think about storytelling, just because that's something that relax.
All right, I think we spent way too much time on the AEW's women's division. Let's go ahead and look at the Continental Classic.
Hold up, Michael Turner said no belt banks.
I mean, I would be happier with that. So, all right, on the gold side, Darby Allin currently has 3 points. Claudio, Will Ospreay, and Ricochet all have 6 points. Brody King has 3 points, and Commander has 0 points and is 0-3. Now,
Commander's not
wanting to sit there and say that Tony Khan takes care of his Mexican talent, I'm going to say right now, that's one of them. Now let's go ahead and look at the Blue League. Kyle Fletcher has 9 points, also has wrestled one more match than everybody else. Kazuchika Okada has 7 points. Mark Briscoe has 6 points. Daniel Garcia has 4 points. Shelton Benjamin has 3 points. And the Beast Mortos has 0 points in 3 matches. So both of your luchadors have 0 points.
They're gonna
And you
come back from
wonder why
behind.
Ray Phoenix wants out.
They're gonna come back from behind.
They can only, I mean, they only have 2 more matches, so they can only get 6 points.
Oh well, shit. I tried.
Yeah, I know. But Kyle Fletcher right now leads the thing, but he has wrestled 4 matches, but he's got 9 points already.
Baby Orton.
Kazuchika Okada second place with 7, and then there's a 3-way tie currently on the Gold League.
Because Okada is the current champion, right?
Yeah, I think the international championship.
Yeah, I
That's,
think
yeah,
I think that and this what they're fighting for.
yeah. Although Osprey, just so everybody knows, has only wrestled 2 matches and has 2 wins, so he has 6 points, only wrestling 2 matches so far.
I don't see Osprey winning this. I see it coming down to Okada and, believe it or not, Kyle Fletcher. I
Well,
think Okada.
Okada and Kyle Fletcher are on the same side.
Oh shit! Oh,
So
that's right.
I actually, believe it or not, I think it's going to be Okada and oh wait, no, Okada only has 1 more match left. So unless Kyle Fletcher loses, because it's 9-7, and you get 3 points for a pinfall or submission victory, I was thinking it was going to be Okada versus Castagnoli.
Okay,
Is where
because I
I would.
think Osprey, because the way they did it on the on Collision, he got with Darby and said, "Look, I need to get my win back, and after this, if you need me," talking about going against the Rough Riders, knock on my door. So I think Osprey is going to jump into that, whatever they're doing, faction or whatever they're doing to counteract the Death Riders. I think Osprey is going to be part of that.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he beat won the world title.
It's gonna come down. AEW is gonna rush it again. The AEW is gonna rush the rematch. I think it is gonna come down to Osprey
And Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher, so you can get part 2. But what you said made me intrigue me. Tino, does Osprey end up fighting? Does he fight Costino? Does he fight Claudio?
I'm saying he fights Moxley first and wins the
So
title from Moxley.
Osprey already beat Claudio.
Okay.
But he does still have to face Ricochet in the turn.
Because when he beat Claudio, right? Claudio came in the ring and they jumped him. They all jumped him, and Darby came out and helped save him. That's why I said Osprey's getting ready to get into that, and I
See,
wouldn't be surprised if he wins the belt from Moxley at some point.
I can see Claudio. I can see it being Osprey Fletcher part 2, but Claudio comes in and cause Osprey to lose a match. That way you can keep Fletcher up 2-0 on Will Osprey. Have him still looking like, I beat Osprey twice, even though it was shaky. And at the same time, now you can move Will Osprey into that storyline with.
Well, here's the surprising thing. Claudio lost to Osprey, but beat Ricochet and Brody King.
Mm-hmm.
Osprey, like I said, has only faced 2. He beat Commander, because everybody has, and Claudio. Brody King has only beaten Darby Allin. Darby Allin's only beaten Commander. And Ricochet has beaten both Brody King and Commander. So at this point, Commander's only 2 matches left are Claudio and Brody King. I think Commander's going 0-5 in this thing, by the way. Unless they disqualify Claudio. Because I could see the Death Riders coming down and beating up and getting Claudio disqualified against Commander.
Okay.
I could see that. Although right now I don't see a way that Commander wins any of his 5 matches.
Unless Death Riders cost somebody else. Like
now, Beast Mortos, I could see beating Mark Briscoe. So I could see him ending with 3 points. But I don't see him beating Shelton Benjamin.
Nope.
Unless Swerve interferes.
Maybe. But Shelton's only faced 2 matches as well so far. So he still has Okada, Garcia, and what the hell is that? Oh, Beast Mortos. So I see Benjamin getting 6 points because I see somehow Daniel Garcia and Okada beating him. And if you notice, MVP's already given Shelton some shit for losing a match in this thing already.
Yep.
Which is crazy because Shelton has been better since showing up in AEW than he had been in like 5 years back with the WWE.
Because there's something. I don't want people to think I'm just picking on AEW, so no more comments for me about that.
I think I've been very positive about AEW for a lot of things tonight.
I'm surprised.
Well, I'll still give them their shit. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Kyle Fletcher does kind of look like a baby Orton right now with the shaved head. All right. Last thing that comes up when I want to talk about AEW, technically, I guess I'm talking about Ring of Honor right now, is if you didn't notice, Chris Jericho, by the way, after Ricky Starks was supposed to show up in GCW and has been canceled from GCW, Chris Jericho showed up and took out Matt Cardona during the most recent GCW show. Anybody have any thoughts on this?
They're probably just using it to push because he's going to face for the title, right? So they've got to start promoting it somehow.
So the question is, does Always Ready Matt Cardona actually win the Ring of Honor World Championship?
Yeah.
You can see that?
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's not under a Ring of Honor or AEW contract.
Yeah, because I mean, who else are they going to?
I mean, he's professional, so he'll do the job to whoever they want him to do the job to afterwards, right?
Or Michael Turner said, he could lose and then just go to WWE, which I think that's where he's going to end up anyway.
It does seem like well, he already, I don't know if you guys saw this week, he posted a picture after Saturday night's main event where he said, I'm now one half of the women's United States champions. And he was holding the belt up in Disneyland. So, all right, ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up the SmackDown stuff. We can close that one down.
Big Jimmy.
Big Jim with his big toe.
With his big toe.
So Big Jim comes out, starts a whole thing where he's talking about his big toe, doesn't know when he's going to be back in the ring, blah, blah, blah. And what happens?
Did he get jumped?
By who?
The Scottish Psychopath.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was
It was Drew McIntyre. Hits him with a Claymore. So Drew McIntyre's big toe's just fine. Takes out Jimmy Uso. And then, of course, Nick Aldis gets in his face, and he's like, when I told you could come to SmackDown, I had no idea that's what you had planned. And Drew McIntyre is just like I'm hearing you, but I'm not paying any attention. And I loved when they went backstage, and it's Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's not on camera frame anymore, and they're talking to Bianca Belair and Naomi, and Aldis sits there, and what does he do? He sits there and says, if Naomi wants to be your tag team partner, she's got to actually defend the tag team titles with you next week. So I think we're getting the Naomi heel turn, right? But all the while, Drew McIntyre sitting there going like this. And then
he said he told him to go wait in my office, and he goes, and he goes into the office. Right,
that's what he did. and last week there was something that went quite viral with Drew McIntyre where he basically said that after his mom died and all this other stuff, nobody at WWE actually made any attempt to contact him. Nobody sat there on the internet and actually said anything nice about him, because he was taking time off. So he basically said, fuck the internet, fuck the fans, I don't give a shit. And he walked out on the appearance that he was on. And he dropped the F-bombs and everything. So it was like, whoa, okay. But all in all, I like this version of Drew McIntyre because he still feels justified in his actions of nobody should like the bloodline, so I want to take them all out.
Yeah.
And with him, I think it doesn't matter if it's new bloodline, old bloodline. It's just going to be, if you wear those colors, I'm taking you out.
Him, Seth, and KO should join the super.
That is something going around the internet.
I already got a
What?
name for them. Call them BK, the Bloodline Killers.
What's going on the internet?
I'm joking.
having Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens all start a faction together.
Call them the Honest Truth, and then when you're ready for them to break
Oh, they gotta have our truth in the group.
exactly. And when you're ready for them to break up, have R-Truth come in to bring in the comedy to make them laugh. But you call them, I mean, they're all heels based off the truth.
Well, Seth
Both.
isn't even technically a heel right now.
But he will be.
I mean,
It's coming.
he should be. The fact that he's sitting there beating up Jey Uso and Sami Zayn.
No,
and-
it was
It's
coming.
So, all right, first match of the night: Michin versus Tiffany Stratton in a United States title qualifier.
I knew Stratton wasn't going to win because I knew Stratton wasn't going to win when they had the backstage segment with Nia. Nia was trying to talk her out. Oh, yeah, you win this, and then you'll have the U.S. strap, and you won't even have to worry about cashing in the thing.
Yeah, no, I agree, and anybody should have been able to see that it was going to be Michin going over in this match. Now, obviously, we're going to get the Saturday night's main event here shortly, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but it does look like they are already turning Tiffany Stratton babyface, and this is the second week in a row. Last week was in her hometown. This week was not, but she was over, and she was sitting there still doing getting the crowd involved and everything else. So I think they are making her they're getting the most out of her crowd reactions right now. Thoughts? All right.
Thank you.
And by the way, her looking like a little jingle bell was something. Carmelo Hayes has a mystery opponent, and Carmelo Hayes gets to go home early.
Because he got his ass stomped.
I loved how after the match, so people are sitting there online and they're all like complaining that Carmelo Hayes is just getting like not getting his flowers, not getting anything that he deserves. And I'm sitting there going, I love the fact that as the heel, he sits there, he's like, I wasn't ready, like Santino did back in the day, where he's like, give me another shot, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And Braun Strowman's just like, bye-bye. I dropped my mouse. So, but I love Carmelo in this role. I think that it's finally giving him something to do. You know, like I could go to Raw right now because the transfer window's open. Well, okay, they're going to put you up against Bronson Reed when you do that.
No time soon.
Although, yeah, no time soon, because apparently his injury was even worse than they thought. But it was a little surprising to see how fast this match actually ended. I thought, like, Braun caught him, power slammed him, 1, 2, 3, it's over.
Yeah.
Bleacher Report gave it an incomplete rating.
Shit.
LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa. Now, okay, they did this awesome cinematic segment with Roman Reigns, with Paul Heyman standing behind him, where they was talking about how the Raw at Netflix opening show is for the Ula Fala, right? And what did LA Knight sit there and do?
The Oofa Loofa. Call it Oofa.
The Oofalafa.
Oofa Lafa.
He's like, I don't give a crap about your Oofalafa. And he said it like 6 times during it. And and this was like right after the Roman Reigns promo too, you know, like so it caught me off guard that they allowed him to sit there and make fun of it. But right now, I think LA Knight really, like, I still don't know why he lost to Shinsuke Nakamura the way he did. And so
I told you why. Remember last week I said they fumbled it the last time when they tried to push him, and then when they came back, he's come out with this new character trying to be so serious and so scary that if they had him lose, they'd have fucking blown it again. So they had to let him win that title.
Fair enough. Well, LA Knight wins this match via disqualification because the Samoan werewolf shows up and just grabs him out of the ring and starts beating. And it looked like a horror movie segment. The way it's like, Jacob Fatu! And then he just like sneaks in and grabs him by the neck and pulls him out of the ring. And okay, ding, 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 it's over.
I love you, my tribal chief.
Solo!
I get my grills in.
But that wasn't our main event because our main event that night was Bayley versus Chelsea Green.
So since you're talking about the female main events, you got to say something earlier.
Women's Wrestling Entertainment, WWE.
So all 3 WWE programs had women's main events until Saturday night's main event. But Dynamite did. TNA did. So it was like the first time that like 5 of those shows had women's main events in the same week. And I don't know, you're going to have to tell me, did Collision have a female main event?
I don't think so.
I was too busy signing comics, so.
I don't think so, no.
So from Monday through Friday, every show on every major wrestling promotion in the United States had female main events.
And I'm going to look it up now because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
They better get used to it because Charlotte's about to come back and none of the women going to get the main events. They better get used to that. Charlotte's on the way back.
She is. And
I ain't mad. I miss Charlotte.
And interestingly enough, one Rebecca Quinn, also known as Becky Lynch, just apparently got announced to be part of Starfleet Academy. So she is now part of a Paramount Plus TV show.
The main event was you made me go all the way to the bottom of this. All right.
Well, WWE.
No, it was Briscoe. It was Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher.
Okay, so Monday through Friday there was 5 different all-female main events. Saturday night's main event, gentlemen. Initial thoughts, bringing out Jesse the Body Ventura.
Crypt Keeper. He looked like the Crypt Keeper.
I told you he looked like. I told you a week ago he looked like the Crypt Keeper.
He did. He's looking more like the Crypt Keeper last night, I watched it yesterday, so Saturday night.
So he did, but you know what? I was very impressed with how informed he was of the current WWE product.
Well, I told you he would be.
I was surprised because he's crazy. So I was waiting for him to sit there and say, when I was a frogman back in Tonga, that, like I was just waiting for one of those like rants that he goes on, and he didn't do that. And he added an element to the main event that I absolutely loved. And that was the idea that when Cody hurt his ankle again in the match, he kept yelling to Kevin Owens, "Why aren't you going for the ankle?" And that's what would happen in UFC. That's what would happen in real sports. But it doesn't happen in WWE anymore, and it's something that he adds to that element. So I was very impressed with that type of stuff going on with him. I also liked all of the, like bringing back the Hall of Famers and having Jimmy Hart, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Coco Beware, all those guys in the stands, and
Tito Santana.
Tito Santana, who of course was like,
Arriba.
he was like, arriba.
Strike Force.
So okay, they open the show, and also I like the presentation of the entire show, feeling very, very closed in, and that they actually had to have security guards walk down with them because they were afraid that people would jump the railing.
For old school, I like
the fact that they actually used the bike rails instead of actually having the barricades that WWE has now. Like it just,
they had the music.
They had the music. The Joe Tessitore actually said out he was wearing the Mean Gene bow tie, and the fact that they let Joe Tessitore and Jesse the Body Ventura run down the card at the beginning. I loved it. I really like the presentation.
Little Nate busted out his shirt.
What's that?
Little Nate busted out his referee shirt. Who I forget who said it.
They were all wearing those blue shirts.
But they made a point that Charles Robinson pulled that actual out of his.
Pat McAfee actually said that. He goes. That's actually Charles Robinson's shirt from 1997.
That was funny.
Which, by the way, they brought back Pat McAfee, which is always a pleasant surprise. I think he's great. He's always great with Michael Cole, but I really liked him, Cole, and Jesse Ventura as the 3-man booth for the main event. I thought that really, really went well. First match of the night, Drew McIntyre returns, has his first match back, goes against Sami Zayn, and Tino, we talked about this last week. Sami Zayn loses another clean match.
It's not going to hurt Sami Zayn, and they need to bring McIntyre back strong, especially if he's getting ready to whatever he's starting to do with the bloodline or whatever.
So let him get disqualified.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn is in Mick Foley lane now. Remember when Mick Foley got in that place where he win or lose, he's Mick Foley?
You still want to see him win every so often.
You got to remember that 3-4 years ago when Sami was doing his whole, when he was actually leading the group with Shinsuke, he was losing he was so cowardly. You expect him to lose. Now then he went to the underdog. He's been everywhere. He wins and losses does not affect Sami anymore.
I know. I know. And we talked about this a little bit that he is so over that it doesn't matter. But at some point, you gotta let him win a match.
I agree.
Like him losing clean to Seth last week, him losing clean to Drew this week.
But they're your top tier people.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. It doesn't hurt him.
And unfortunately,
so put him against the Miz. I don't care. Let him win a match.
Well, you want him to win. That's why you're mad.
You don't want him to win a match?
He doesn't need to.
But you still want him to. Drew doesn't need to win a match.
He'll come back. But that's the thing, though. He doesn't have to need win. He'll have his. They call him the ultimate underdog. He'll come back and beat Drew. He doesn't need to win the first match. He can come back and beat him.
He's never beaten him. They actually kept talking about how Sami Zayn had never beaten Drew McIntyre.
I wanted Sami to lose to Chad Gable months ago, but here we are.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Gunther to lose to Chad Gable.
That wasn't happening.
All right. Next match up. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Io Sky got
nose broke where Io did that backflip and missed it. Is that where she got her nose broke?
No, she got Liv almost got her nose broken when Io Sky did that kick right in the face that caused her nose to bleed, right in the middle of the ring. They showed it 4 times in a row, and it was just her whole face just looked like smashed. It was pretty gruesome to be showing that on NBC. But Liv Morgan goes over in the match. After the match, Raquel and Liv leave the ring, and Mommy comes out, has a stare down, and then they go to commercial. So I guess we're back. I guess we're back to that feud.
But I think the main Raquel. You remember when Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa had that match, and Britt got her face busted and her nose is bleeding? It kind of reminded me of that at the end of that match where Liz, her nose bleeding, just mean mugging Rhea holding that title. She looked tougher. You know what I'm saying? I think they're trying to build her up. They're like, maybe she can take Rhea. You know what I mean? Just like that helped build Britt Baker. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's just something about that shot with her and her nose bleeding, and she's just looking mean at Rhea and just holding that belt, and they're like, "Come get it, bitch." Kind of.
Except the problem you always run into there is when you've been hit in the nose and your nose is bleeding like that, you got a big like red button nose. You know, like you look like Rudolph.
So you think it's a Becky Lynch back again?
Yeah, it
kind
worked for Becky.
I mean, you're right, and maybe it will. But you're absolutely right. It definitely made the women's division look tougher than it ever looked on Saturday Night's main event before.
No, I agree, because I did when I was looking at Liv after the match. It was like, I mean, I never saw her as weak or anything, but she had a little feisty pit bull, like,
yes.
And honestly, I got the feeling of the same feeling when they legitimized Alexa Bliss. When Alexa Bliss finally started
you got to remember too. Every other time Rhea come out or that music hit, she played the chicken shit heel and she ran. Liv didn't run this time. Liv
stayed and looked her in the face.
Down.
Yep.
But this time, I think it's because she had Raquel standing right behind
she's
her.
been running with Raquel though.
Yeah. I think there's a change in Liv's character.
Okay.
I think that nose, something about that shot. You know what I'm saying?
And I can see her beating Rhea at Netflix.
Yeah, I could see that too. I can see that.
Because they just use Rhea while Rhea's become a new star, they use her to make Liv star even bigger, and it worked for both of them.
Yep.
You're getting lower and lower on your screen. At some point, you're going to be gone.
He's getting sleepy. Let's go.
Oh, he's definitely getting sleepy. Yeah. All right. Chelsea Green, U.S. title win over Michin.
I knew Michin wasn't going to win that. I knew it was going to be Chelsea. When Chelsea won that, it was going when Chelsea won and it was going to be Michin and Chelsea. I'm like, Chelsea's got this.
Except I would have been happy for either of them. Because Michin and Chelsea both were kind of like laughing stocks of the women's division in WWE for how long?
Yeah, but Chelsea, and I was watching something today. The reason why Triple H picked Chelsea is because her work rate has been better. Her connection with the audience, her comedic timing with Michael Cole and with everybody else. She's all of a sudden everything's clicked. You know
Did you see what Adam Pearce wrote after she won? He wrote, "I need a drink."
But I'm gonna tell you, the way she won that match, that impressed me. When she was on that top rope and she flipped down and got her and transitioned to the unprettier and hit that. Yeah, that was smooth.
We've been saying for months that Chelsea Green needed to actually get some of these wins, and this is the perfect way for her to get the flowers that she deserved all along.
But she's going to have to, when she comes back Friday, get that heel back, because people were cheering for her during the match, and then when she won, they cheered. So she's got to. I don't know, and I think it's one of those things where she busts her ass and people appreciate her. But if they want to keep her as a heel, she's got to come back. And it's not hard for her to do it, but come back unless they want to push her as a heel, as a face.
I was almost waiting for when Piper Niven had her on her shoulders that she was going to drop her
to do the Batista move.
Mm-hmm. And I was waiting for it because that was a great moment to do it. And Chelsea just started like rubbing her head or whatever it was. It was just rubbing Piper Niven's head.
Because Piper kept looking up at her. You know what? Yeah.
Like, if they had done that, Chelsea's a baby face, Piper's now the heel, and they're both getting elevated by it. I would have totally been fine with that.
WrestleMania.
Very well possible, but that would have been the perfect moment to do it.
Or like he said, now you're both. I see how you both. Like he said, she's a heel, so they're gonna have to do something to keep her heel. And you're like, she can be face. What if they keep her tweener for her now and have the slow progression? And same way, what's her name? I was about to call her an old name. Piper. Just a slow hints that she wants to.
You're gonna call her Dewdrop?
Yeah, because
Jesus.
Because you gotta do Chelsea Green versus Michin again, run it back. You can do Chelsea Green versus basically any of you have the women roster, you can use that at disposal. You can, even if Jay Cargill doesn't have anything after the whole Bianca thing, put Jade Cargill into the U.S. title picture, so you don't have to get her to the WWE. But at the same time, you give her 2 fights, Misha and somebody else, and she slowly goes from heel to tweener to all of a sudden Piper her, boom, Piper do with the Batista, and now you have her as a U.S. champion who's defended now face against a Piper WrestleMania friends.
Sure.
And it's the same storyline, which we say we get tired of the storyline, but if it always works.
No. It always works.
It always works.
It always works. Main event. There's a match I'm missing. What match am I missing? Oh, Damian Priest, Gunther, and Finn.
That's why I got it for you, so you can remember.
That's right. Heck of a match.
I'm mad that none of the titles changed. I thought at least one title would change hands.
If you remember going back to the original Saturday Night's main events, almost never did the title change because it was leading up to the next big pay-per-view.
The first one, that's when they did the Andre the Giant, gave it to Ted DiBiase.
Gave it to him.
But the title changed.
Hogan you're right. Yeah. But that was but then after that it just became like a elevated regular show. And back then,
if they're bringing it back to, this is so special, they could have had a title change.
Well, they technically did by having Chelsea Green win.
I don't count that because that was,
I know,
but a new title. There was no champion there.
But that's
and
what
the title change that they should have done.
It's the
well, I want to talk about one at the end because it's the main event. But let's talk about this match. I do think that there was the possibility of having like Finn Balor leave as the champion, as the underdog between the three characters. It's just I still think that with him being the tag team champion, he's got to lose that belt before they do anything to elevate him again. And then as much as I'd like to see Damian Priest as the champion again, I think Gunther really hasn't looked like a super strong champion since he's had the belt. So I want to see him in that elevated position first. So I was okay with him holding on to the belt.
Okay.
Now the main event, which was Cody versus Kevin Owens, I would have really liked to have seen Kevin Owens win that championship. And
well, once they gave him the winged eagle belt, Cody wasn't losing.
Well, I agree. Except it would have been the prime time to do it, right? Because Cody wanted that belt. He wanted it out there. He wanted to be with it. So having him lose the match, whether by diabolical terms or, losing clean, would have been the time for him to actually, because maybe he got overconfident. Maybe he had this, maybe he had that. And then what's Cody do to win it? Cody sits there and puts himself on the steel chair. So they try to say that he hit Kevin Owens on the steel chair.
Yeah.
With the crossroads. But more importantly, do you want to talk about this match? I'll let you if you want to.
No, there's not really much I want to talk about that match.
I just want to say I thought KO should have won.
So, did either of you see what happened after the match?
When Kevin Steen returned?
No.
When Kevin Steen returned?
Yes. Come out the suit, suplex.
Woo! Oh, no. The package power bomb. Or I'm sorry, package pile driver was brought out for the first time in the WWE.
On who?
On Cody Rhodes.
What? I didn't see that, no.
Cody Rhodes was sitting there doing his whole hold the championship up, do all that. Kevin Owens came up, kicked him in the stomach, got him up for something, and then package pile drivered him. And then picked the belt up, threw it over his shoulder, looked at him, walked out of the ring, started walking up the ramp, and Triple H came out, and Triple H started shoving him. Like, what are you doing?
Uh-oh. Bless you.
Thank you. Now, those of us that are smart marks know that Triple H cannot wrestle anymore. He has a pacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like one wrong hit could set the timing of that thing off, you know? But it was interesting because Kevin Owens stole the belt and walked out with the Winged Eagle.
Well, that's like Shawn Michaels slamming Eddie Thorpe against the door.
Yeah, but Shawn Michaels can still go. He just chooses not to. Triple H is medically unable to perform.
Yeah, that's true.
But the idea that Kevin Owens stole the belt, walked out of the ring, and then left with it, and now they're saying that Cody Rhodes had like cervical, like stenosis or whatever, which is like the problem that Edge had after his neck surgery. So they're really trying to say that he's now taken out Randy and he's taken out Cody. And I even liked when he did the drop on the table, and then he turns at the camera and he goes, "Hi, Randy. Hi, Randy." But the after the event was what was so interesting, because it was after cameras were not rolling, but then about an hour later, WWE's social medias all started like posting the video of Kevin Owens hitting him with the package pile driver, which
I gotta go back and find it.
Which again, the package pile driver, like if a pile driver is illegal in the WWE, there's no way that a package pile driver is allowed to be used. What I didn't like was that the commentary on it was basically like, he just did this move to Randy Orton. No, he did a pile driver to Randy Orton. This was a package pile driver.
There's a difference.
Which I can understand him not doing a package pile driver to Randy Orton, because it's obviously not safe. Or not as safe as a regular pile driver, especially to a guy who's had back surgery and whatever. But yeah. So Saturday night's main event went off the air, and then this all happened. So similar to the Bad Blood stuff where he beat up Cody outside after everything had happened. So pretty interesting, because obviously it probably leads into tonight's Monday Night Raw as well as Friday Night SmackDown.
I don't know, because they're both SmackDown guys, so I don't know if they'll might maybe.
Does that matter anymore? They're going to at least show the video of him doing the package pile driver.
Yeah,
you know, because they always show like the after event stuff. They're like, oh, this happened and this happened.
I think the seeds for Homelander got planted, because the fans were chanting one more time to Kevin after he did it, and then they also they were chanting, "You deserve it."
Yeah, they teased the Cody heel turn, and then they had Kevin Owens just one up him. So speaking of the championship and everything, Kevin Owens.
Just want you to know, we're at 2 hours. Just want you to see that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Kevin Owens loses this match. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that Kevin Owens' contract ends in January?
Yep.
Your thoughts? Okay.
That's all. If I think if he signs, they'll give him the belt. He'll be the one to beat Cody for the belt.
I kind of agree.
And then he'll face a returning Orton, and then they'll feud over it.
Well, I still think it's going to be a three-way dance at Royal Rumble between all three of them.
But if he resigns, he'll win. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I could see that being the case too, because Cody doesn't need the belt if he's going against The Rock, and he doesn't need the belt if he's going against Roman, and he doesn't need the belt so I could see them putting the championship in a different position. Absolutely. Anything else, Tino, on that stuff?
No.
I only have a little bit of TNA news here.
I think.
First one is Tessa Blanchard appears on TNA amidst the controversy that she made bullying and racist comments not too long ago. Well, actually about 4 years ago. But she apparently is not signed to a contract, even though she's supposed to be in a feud with Jordynne Grace, who, by the way, backstage news is saying that Jordynne Grace does not want to work with her.
I don't blame her, because Jordynne Grace is married to one
Jonathan Gresham.
Dude, Gresham. So I can see if Tessa's making racist comments, she probably would kill her.
Well, again, that was like 4 years ago that she made those comments, but
that shit don't die.
And then here's the other piece of news. There are 4 major players in the current TNA. AJ Francis, Trent Seven, Josh Alexander, and Jordan Grace all have expiring contracts within the next, let's say, 3 months.
So AJ Francis, right? So he left and did his own thing.
Top dollar. Yep.
I was about to say, do you think he comes back to WWE?
I actually think he re-signs with TNA, at least for another year. I don't think
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to AEW and joins up with Swerve again, because they were all the hit row. It was Swerve, Top Dollar, and they've got no, Ashante Adonis is on
Ashanti's in NXT and
shit.
And what's the name is with the Street
Profits.
Profits.
I just don't know if I just don't know if Swerve needs him or if he needs Swerve. Obviously, he needs Swerve more than Swerve needs him, right?
Yeah.
So it would probably be something where Tony Khan would be like, "Hey, his contract's coming up. Swerve, do you want to work with him?" And then we find out. But I mean,
I've been saying that there's as many times as Jordan Grace has been to NXT. I think if her contract ends, we said she'll probably be at a Royal Rumble, and that's how they introduce her to WWE.
Yeah, I almost don't think that I see her going back to NXT though. If she does come into WWE, I see her going to the main roster. Yeah,
she's going to go to the main roster. So I like to see her, and she's got some powerhouses there. Charlotte, Jade, EST, yeah.
Her and Bianca looked good in the Royal Rumble last year. Like Jordan, remember Jordan Grace did good until Bianca got in there.
Yep.
And they gave you a little teaser what could happen between them.
Yep.
Josh Alexander, we talked about. You said I think he'd go to AEW. You think he'd go to WWE?
I do think he'd go to WWE just because of the current TNA and WWE contract situation and things working with that, because his contract apparently isn't up till middle of February, but I could totally see him being in the Royal Rumble as well.
And I can see Trent Seven coming back to WWE, getting back with Big Strong Boy, and they get Mustache Mountain back together.
I mean, maybe, but he actually is, out of all 4 of them, he's the one that to me seems to fit the AEW thing better.
Really?
Yeah. Now, AJ Francis, you know where I would actually like to see him go is New Japan. Because they love their big Americans. So I think he'd do really well there. But I got nothing else, Tino.
I got nothing.
So
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Folks, remember, Died Hard #1 is out in stores now. #2 can be ordered to come out on February 12th. And Tino, why don't you tell everybody how they can find you?
You're right. You can find me on was it Blue Sky?
Yeah.
You can find me on the Insta SC Tino. I am on Snapchat SC Tino, TikTok Tino All Great Music. We're here. We're on X as Potsy and Tino, Facebook Potsy and Tino Show. We are here each and every week on the Pots and Pan Networks. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and buy our shit. We also want to say thank you to Adam's House Cats. You can, for the theme song, which is a wrestling song. You can find it on iTunes for 99 cents. 99 Jones. Rob.
Well, I'll let Terrence go.
That was right.
You can find me on. I'm still on X. At John_T_Helios. The same name for Instagram at John_T_Helios. And I want to say Snapchat is John Helios. One word.
And then next week, Tino says that he does not think he'll be here. So I will probably do a quick show myself at 8 o'clock on Monday night.
Christmas week. My baby girl's coming in, and we got other family coming in. So
absolutely wasn't saying anything against it. Just letting everybody know that if they're around and they're on the YouTubes and the Twitches and whatever, I will most likely be here. You can find me on Instagram at Rob Pochak, on Twitter or X at Pochak. You can find me on Instagram, my second account, Twitch, Snapchat, and TikTok at Rob Potsy Pochak. And I believe that is all of them. So, folks, with that, I think We are.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Is that the one you want?
Motor City Machine Guns.
All right, we are out of here. Thank you to the Motor City Machine Guns for this
Motor
one.
City Machine Guns.
Ready? Motor City Machine Guns with Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino show.
Thanks for watching.